What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, spoilers abound in this video today, but not actual story spoilers or anything like that. We've got all the remaining Incarnon alt-fire modes for the remaining guns. So we're going through, basically, I think like week 4 through week 6. We're going to be going over every gun that has an Incarnon option today and showing what the alt-fire will be like. Now, we don't have every little detail, but I'm just going to let you know. If you were wondering how I knew that the Boltor Prime would be slash-focused before my video even came out, it's because this leak on Overframe has been here for like the last couple days. So we'll be going over every remaining gun, the Dread, the Torrid, the Soma even. So if you think knowing what these would be ahead of time is not fun and anti-fun for you, this might not be the video for you. But I get so many questions like, hey, what do you think the Soma's going to be? What do you think this is going to be? That having this to direct people to while we're waiting like another couple weeks for these weapons will probably be a pretty important and helpful resource to some people. Now, also keep in mind, I will be speculating a lot of this. We have very minimal information here, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, like, I'm a big nerd. I play this game all the time. I can at least kind of guess what's going to be happening here with hopefully some good accuracy. So if you enjoy these types of videos, speculation, all that, make sure you're subbed to this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. And also check out the live stream channel. I'll be live. Actually, I might be live right now when this video goes up because I want to get that Archon hunt done. I want to do some more Boltor Prime testing, and I got to get that Magistar video on soon. So, for better or for worse, I will be testing out some Magistar and Incarnon later. Alright, let's get into it. So, these leaks are on Overframe. You can actually just go and look at these right now if you want to. We'll be starting with them in order of release. Okay, so for the first weapons Incarnon mode, we're going to be showing, I'm going to show you how you can do this too if you want to. We're on Overframe. We went to the Torrid. Torrid's getting an Incarnon adapter. Right now it says primary fire mode. You click on this, it goes to Incarnon fire mode. So on the Incarnon fire mode for the Torrid, it's going to be a high crit and high status as well. Base toxin. And it looks like right here, it's going to be a beam weapon with 3 meters of punch through. So what I'm thinking right here is, well, first off, how are you going to build Incarnon charge the Torrid? It's got a really weird like explosion shot. But if you somehow build Incarnon charge the Torrid, you will get access to this. 3 meters of punch through at base is crazy high. So I'm expecting this to be kind of like the Synapse. You get some headshots with the Torrid, then you switch to the Synapse, and it's going to have base toxin. Should be pretty good. And very high status into 39%. So toxin proc build could be interesting there too. Alright, moving on to the next one. Let's not dwell too long on all this. We got a lot to go over. But yeah, Torrid looking like a beam weapon. Interesting for sure. Those are some good crit stats and good hybrid stats in general. Alright, moving on to the dual Toxicist. This thing's usually impact, puncture, slash. We go to the Incarnon mode. It's still impact, puncture, slash. What kind of buffs we get? So we get a status chance buff. We get a big base damage buff. Okay. So the total damage on the normal shot. Actually, no, it's 75 on the normal shot. I guess it goes massively increased. Massively increased status. Okay. So the crit chance literally gets doubled. On the Incarnon alt-fire for the dual Toxicist, you go from 5% crit chance to 11 at base. And you got 3x multiplier too. The fire rate goes to 4.5. I'm assuming this will become full auto, because I don't think the dual Toxicist is normally full auto. So 43% status chance, 11% crit chance, which is kind of low, 3x crit multiplier. I'm expecting there to be some kind of Incarnon option to give this thing massively increased crit chance, so you can feed into that with like prime crit mods and stuff. But yeah, this looks like it could be a pretty nasty, like high-level enemy slayer. Especially in the pistol slot, because I've been trying to get more weapons in the pistol slot. I am not picking melees for the foreseeable future. And I know I haven't fully tested out the Magistar yet, but man, oh man, it is not as exciting as like the most of the guns. So this looks like it will be similar to the normal dual Toxicist. I don't see anything special gimmicks on here, just big increase to base stats, and probably full auto with 4.5 fire rates. Alright, moving on to the next one. What we got here? We got the Miter. I like the Miter. So the big thing this is used for nowadays is, well, it technically can do good damage, but it has a augment mod that will pop nullifier bubbles. Very good for doing like corrupted missions, long runs. If you're doing a Corpus mission, long run, any mission with a nullifier, having a Miter in your squad is actually a smart thing to do. And it can deal some okay damage too. So let's see what the alt-fire Incarnon mode will do. Okay, so we're going from looks like we're going from 5% crit chance to 20% crit chance, the 3.3 multiplier. Dang, go get a Riven for this. And it's going to also have an exploding heat attack. Okay, so the Miter will become AoE. I'm reading this right here, radial attack heat. So we'll still have impact, puncture, slash, but there will be a heat explosion. With 56% status chance. What are these numbers? What are these numbers? They over doubled the crit chance and status chance on this thing. It looks like the base damage actually did go down a little bit, though. I guess that's because you're getting such a massive crit buff. Yeah, it looks like they nerfed the base damage. Total damage 140 on the Incarnon. Total damage 250 on the, I guess it's a charge shot, technically. Can they show the non-charge shot? On the charge shot, you'll be doing more damage than the non-charge shot in the Incarnon explosion. But yeah, that could be cool right there. I will probably, maybe I'll do a miter ribbon rolling video later this week because, yeah, this one looks like it's confirmed AoE, radial attack, heat damage. Heat damage on the AoE is also quite nice. Again, though, it might be similar to the Bratton. The Bratton did have AoE and heat damage, but it was a very small AoE. So maybe don't get too excited over this one yet. But yeah, 56% status chance with impact, puncture, slash, and heat is pretty nasty. And of course, you can still use the neutralizing justice augment, I'm assuming. Moving on to the Atomos. This is a surprise one. This replaced the Cull Star. So rip that guy that has like 10 Cull Star ribbons all for sale. Gonna be waiting until maybe Echoes of Duviri on that one. So the Atomos, it's already good. Let's see what we're getting on the Incarnon mode. Okay, so the Atomos will become AoE, it seems. We've got an impact on a direct hit and an explosion of blast damage in a radius. It's going to be a 550 damage explosion before crits. And it looks like the crit chance and crit damage are being massively buffed. Okay, well, the crit damage is being massively buffed. The crit chance is not being massively buffed. A 3x crit multiplier at base on this thing with 18% crit chance and 41% status chance. Now, of course, I have a heat ribbon, so I'll probably be jamming heat on there anyway. But yeah, some big upgrades here. The Atomos might be pretty nasty. Let's see, 29 damage per tick on the Atomos normally, and we go to 550 total damage in one shot. So yeah, this will be what I'll definitely pick. I will not pick some dumb random melee. I will pick the Atomos, okay? Because it's AoE. So far, the Miter and the Atomos are both AoE according to this. With the Torrid probably being a beam weapon. Alright, moving on to the Soma Prime. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble that wants this to be like an AoE nuke launcher. It's probably not going to be. So as far as the current stats, we've got literally 12 base damage, 30% crit chance, and a 3x multiplier. Let's switch to the other mode and see what we got. Okay, so we got, looks like 8 projectiles. It will be a shotgun. Damage per projectile times 8. So if you've seen the Boltor and it fires out 3 pellets, it will be likely similar to that from what I'm looking at right here. But also, look at this. The crit chance has been massively reduced. This is either a bug or they really want you to use Hata Satya. So we got 10% crit chance on the Incarnon mode with a 3.4 multiplier, so better multiplier than the normal mode. We got 2.8 status per projectile. It is confirmed a shotgun. 2.8 per projectile. The Soma Prime will be a slash-focused shotgun with bad crit for some reason. Why did they nerf the crit? I guess like you build up Hata Satya and then switch over, or vice versa. Since you have 8 projectiles, that will scale with multi-shot. You'll probably get your entire Hata Satya in like 3 bullets, or like 3 shots, honestly. 8 at base is relatively high. So yeah, that could be pretty nasty. It's definitely not like, it's not like a rocket launcher, like I said earlier. It's not a rocket launcher. The Soma will not be AoE, but if you throw on some punch through like you saw my Boltor video, it can kill multiple enemies at a time. Expect this to be crazy, though. Expect it to be like crazy, crazy damage per shot, but people will be calling it like not as exciting because it's not, AoE killing enemies through walls like we've come to expect now, apparently. Alright, so yeah, Soma looking pretty good, but not as exciting as you would hope. Moving on to the Vasta, the one I had the worst ribbon rolling video ever for. We got before the Incarnon, it's a very highly slash-weighted hybrid pistol with 22% crit chance, 2.4 multiplier, and 22% status chance. We switch to the Incarnon alt-fire mode, and we go, so we get a crit chance and crit damage buff. It says 6 magazine. Does it become fan the hammer? Status per projectile. Oh, this becomes shotgun as well. Looks like the Vasta also becomes shotgun. Okay, so 6 projectiles per, and it's going to be a total of 420 damage from one shot. So it's 4 times the damage of a normal shot. And we've got, okay, interesting for sure. Multi-shot ribbon will definitely be nice here, as will the Soma, because remember you're multiplying those pellets with multi-shot. So that 6 would become like 24 pellets with just the galvanized mod. You throw in a multi-shot mod, you'll be getting like 30, 40 pellets from one bullet on this thing. So it might be Fan the Hammer, it might not be. It says 6 magazine here, which is basically nothing. But hey, if it's a sharpshooter that like one-shots everything unconditionally, I will be quite okay with that, even if it's not AoE. Alright, so interesting one there. It's still slash-focused, it looks like. It's still slash-focused. And yeah, it gets a crit damage and crit chance buff. Moving on to the Burstin. I bet some people really hope this one's going to be good. I haven't actually looked at this one yet. I think I briefly peeked at it. Alright, so the Burstin is normally I guess it's technically a slash-focused status rifle, but it doesn't really do that much damage, crit-wise. So let's see what we get buffs here. Big buffs to the crit, and it becomes entirely heat. Okay, so the Burstin will become AoE, it seems like. Now, these aren't very big numbers I'm seeing right here. 13 heat damage on the direct hit, and 13 heat damage on the radial explosion. It might be very similar to the Bratton, honestly. 13 damage is not very high. What is the normal damage of the Burstin? Okay, so, unless these numbers are wrong, I mean, it's seeming very similar, like, damage per shot-wise. Actually, a little bit lower. This is 46 damage per shot on the Burst normal mode, and then you go to the Incarnon mode, you have 26 damage per shot. But you're getting big crit buffs, too, to go alongside it, as well as some, it already has good status chance. And this will be full auto here. So, I don't know. I was excited for it at first, then I looked at the actual damage numbers, and I'm kind of like, ooh, will it actually be strong or not? I think it will be. I feel like none of the Incarnon primaries are going to be bad. Like, that's my personal viewpoint on it. But, yeah, those numbers aren't looking too promising, but 3x multiplier is nice. Yeah, it's got a 1.8 multiplier at base. And this is a 20 fire rate. Well, this is a 20 fire rate? Are you serious? Okay, so you'll be literally annihilating your ammo pool, your Incarnon ammo pool with this thing. So, yeah, I think it's meant to be like an actual bullet hose. And it's not really a bullet hose right now. So, yeah, it goes from burst to full auto. Weird choice for the Burstin, honestly, but we'll see. It should at least be pretty strong. The Zylock. Yes, the Zylock did get an Incarnon upgrader. This thing has bad crit, decent status, and high slash weighting. Normally, it's kind of like a duplex trigger where it fires one bullet at a time unless you take your finger off the trigger, then it'll fire 2 bullets. Let's see what the Incarnon mode will be. Okay, so it's got a charge rate. Okay, we got a weird one here. So we got a charge rate at AoE. So the Zylock will become AoE. The charge shot has impact and puncture. The charged radial attack has 600 heat. So just comparing this to the Burst that we previously looked at, we have 13 heat damage on the Burstin on the radial attack. This has 600. So a lot more. The Zylock might be really, really strong. We've got a 20% crit chance and a 2x multiplier with 40% status chance. So you'll be lots of heat procs too. If you don't have a Zylock Riven, you might want to consider it, as it is very sleeper, and it already can kill high-level enemies in one shot right now. It's very inconsistent because of the terrible crit. Like, I think what is it, 8%? 8% crit, and it's going to 20% on the charge shot. 0.6 charge rate's not super fast, but hey, we got fire rate mods for a reason. So Zylock's looking like it's AoE, and looking pretty good. Oh, do notice, though, on the charge shot, there is no slash. This thing is normally slash-focused. The slash is removed on the explosion shot, so hopefully my Riven is still good, because I have slash on my Riven with minus impact. Alright, moving on to the Despair. We got actually this is the Dread. The Despair will be the last one. These are the last two. Alright, so the Dread is a really old weapon. It's got 336 base damage. It's got 50% crit chance, 2x multiplier, and 20% status chance. Pretty much all slash. So the crit chance stays the same at 50%. The crit multiplier goes to 3x, so better base crit multiplier. The status chance goes to 30%, and as you can see right here, it will have base heat. So think very similar to the Cinta. I'm expecting this to be pretty much exactly the same, or like the Nanorook even. It will probably have a perfect charge shot that will do heat damage, or maybe it will be like the Paris, will just have base heat in general. But the slash is a lot less focused on this shot. So you'll be going for heat procs. It might explode. It doesn't say any radial attack here. I was hoping it would be like actually exploding arrows. But yeah, it looks like it will be very similar to like Nanorook or the Paris is my opinion on this currently. And it will have heat damage, which is a little bit weird. It might just be a bad thing in some situations, because look how much slash damage you have here. But either way, it will get those Incarnon buffs. It has 400 base damage, where the normal shot is 336. So yeah, heat procs are good too. So there you go. All right, moving on to the last one before we do some closing discussion here. We got the Despair. I didn't go over any melees because the melees Incarnons are not on here. So the Despair usually does not have very good base stats. 16%, 1.6 multiplier, and 60% status chance with mostly puncture focused, 58 base damage. Remember though, this will be getting Incarnon upgrades to give you big increased base crit chance, so don't worry about it too much. In Incarnon mode, we do get some crit buffs. We go to 30% crit chance, a 3x multiplier, and 20% status chance. And it does not seem like it is exploding. It doesn't say radial attack, at least. We've got impact, puncture, slash, and we have 60 base damage, where the normal Despair has 58. So you get 2 more base damage, but you get big increased base stats. So the kunai one was like basically homing projectiles, I want to say. I don't have the kunai one, so I had to like basically just go off of other people's experiences. But it sounds like it will be similar to that, where like basically you get some charge up, then you activate it, and it will like home in on enemies' heads. But yeah, after going through all of these Incarnons and going over all their Incarnon modes without the upgrades and stuff like that, I'm definitely gonna. I'm kind of considering not going for Torrid now. A beam weapon sounds good and all, but I don't know. We'll see. Especially because next week is stacked. So Torrid, if it's not AoE, people are not going to like it, but it's going to have 3 units of punch through anyway, so kind of cool. I think the Miter, I'm putting the Miter higher up on my list than I was before. An AoE Miter with good crit stats, yeah, let's do that. So Miter is actually being higher prioritized than before after reading this. The Atomos was already prioritized, but now there's no way. I'm not picking anything but Atomos on this week. Well, I had to pick 2 technically, but I will definitely pick Atomos on that week. That's a big base damage explosion shot, and it gets a base stat bump too. It's like, why not? The Soma is going to be a shotgun, but if you have a multi-shot Riven, the Soma is going to definitely shred. Although I'm kind of confused about that 10% crit chance thing. Maybe that will be involving Incarnon upgrades and stuff. But that'll be a slash focus shotgun thing, very similar to the Boltor. For the Vasta, I don't know, man. I was fan the hammer, I guess. Six projectiles, it might be okay, but I'm definitely wishing I had a better Riven than the one I do. And yes, I do like Rivens, can you tell? The Burstin was extremely disappointing, honestly. Why does the Burstin have 13 base damage on the explosion in the radial? That 20 fire rate, like, it better have like 300 bullets on the Incarnon ammo pool, or it doesn't feel like it's going to even be doing damage. It literally might do less damage than the normal mode. The Zylock also sounds kind of cool. I don't know if I'm going to be putting that top of my list, but that sounded kind of cool. And the Dread and the Despair, I think the Dread one, I'm a little bit disappointed in, to be honest. Heat damage and no radial attack. We'll see. Maybe it will end up having a radial attack when it actually gets released. And the Despair, whatever. It'll probably be okay. But yeah, so as far as the rest of these guys, hopefully this helped you make more informed decisions in the future. I will be doing the same thing I've been doing last week, where it's like, here are all the weapons. Here's my first impressions after, like 6 hours. Here is, if there's going to be like a competition, like, I don't know, like the Miter. No, there really shouldn't be. Telos Boltor versus Boltor Prime. That probably shouldn't have to happen anymore. Because I don't think there's really any variance on any of these. Like the Vasta, just do the Vasta Prime. Burstin, just do Burstin Prime. There's no Zylock variant. Soma Prime. There's no Kuva Atomos. So you don't really have many difficult options as far as like variants going forward. You just basically need to decide which one sounds the strongest and most useful to you. Alright guys, I hope you found this video fun and helpful. I will see you... Actually, I'm already streaming. Go check out the live stream right now if you haven't already. Let me know how you like this video. And I will see you in the next one. Take it easy. Peace!